Hello everyone, Josh first back again with some more Epic 7. Now, this is a topic that I've been wanting to talk about for quite some time, and now that the event will be going away today, I wanted to quickly cover it beforehand. I wanted to talk about this really about a week ago or so, but I just never had the time to do it, and now that we're in maintenance and I got nothing else really going on right now, I figured, now is a good time, right? So, anyways, as you know, we get these events every once in a while where we log in and do certain daily things, and then we get certain rewards for it, and that's all well and good. But here is the main problem that I see a lot of players are just kind of struggling with, myself included, and it can become really a hassle, make you feel a bit frustrated, and in some cases, downright pissed off. And you have every right to feel that way. Because the issue is, when you hold events that are free for the players, the consensus would be to allow all the players the same opportunity to get those free rewards by playing the game every day, doing what they are asked to do. But when some players are asked to do things that other players are doing and you're getting rewarded less, it becomes a bit of an issue, becomes a bit of a divide within the community. And the Korean community has been definitely outspoken here recently from what I've been hearing, and they're very, very upset with Smilegate and the way they're handling the game, and a lot of them apparently are moving back over to 7 Knights. So Smilegate should at this point definitely feel that even people within their own homeland are very upset with them and how they're handling things. And the way they're handling this particular event, for example, is another example. I said example like twice now, but it's becoming a big issue with how they're handling the game going forward, with all the other things going on and stamina issues still being at, critical mass at this point. We've reached critical velocity, maximum velocity, whatever you want to call it. That's where we're at right now when it comes to stamina issues. And events like this are kind of what a lot of players lean on to try and collect some resources to either use for the crazy, grueling, month-long side stories that we just had with the collab event, with another one still to go this week, and other things that they're trying to do in the game, trying to improve their accounts with, doing hunts, etc., etc. These things cost an abundant amount of stamina, and events like this that offer you leafs and stamina are huge. They're very critical in keeping players' interest, very healthy and wanting them to come back for more and feeling that the company does care. But the problem is, and the irony in this event is, it's called a thank you event, and honestly, they're not thanking everyone the same. Some players are being thanked very well, and some are basically getting the middle finger. And the reason is basically the gift giving part and the wheel part are the main issues here. I'm not too concerned with the wrapping up event, which we'll talk about in another video, where I feel that they need to extend the event currencies, because if you actually overlap, like you get way too much event currency that you can't even get a reward for, they need to add like gold or something to that, so we can just continuously keep collecting gold until the event goes away, or stamina or something. That would be great. But that's for a different video. So anyways, we have a Charles, okay, a Mercedes, a Ross, and an Izaria. 4 different rewards that you can get with your gifts. You have, I believe, 4 opportunities. Yes, you got 4 opportunities per day to get, any combination of these rewards. Obviously, the leaf is the most important reward here beyond anything else. Because, let's be honest, at 50,000 gold, you could use 1 leaf and get more than 50,000 gold using that 1 leaf by just farming things on top of getting fodder, EXP build up, or even gear if you're doing hunts. So that 1 leaf completely overshadows every other reward in this entire event, except for maybe the 1 Molagora, because Molagoras are very scarce in this game. But from a day-to-day standpoint, the leaf is definitely the go-to reward that everybody needs and wants. We got the greater charms, the lesser charms, and then the 50,000 gold, obviously, as I said. So, and another thing here is, why is Izaria not getting greater charms as well? what is Smilegate's deal with trying to lock accessories behind several layers of different types of obstacles to be able to level up your accessories, which make up one of the biggest portions of your statistics on your character in development. It's very, very hard to get charms for your accessories. You can do your dispatch missions, you can do your daily raids or labyrinths, but it still takes a lot of time and a lot of EXP, especially if you're trying to plus 15, a 70 or 85 gear. It takes a long time and it's very hard. And if you get bad luck and you got to start over again after you've hit like plus 9 or plus 12 on a new piece of gear, then you're really screwed. Unlike the left side gear, including the boots, where those charms are much easier to come by. Plus, you get a bunch of fodder gear from doing story and side story. So you can level that gear up still, pretty good. Plus, you can build gear in the Sanctuary. So it's definitely a lot easier to work on that gear. So the charms for that are not as bad as the accessories. So to see that the easier part is getting the greater charms and the harder to achieve part is getting the lesser grade charms is very disheartening and a little bit upsetting. So that's another thing with this particular event. I feel like the water gun event was probably one of our better events we ever had, especially for getting leafs. But it would even still fall into this category of people that are getting extremely unlucky and not getting leafs at all. And then you have the wheel as well, which you have a 50% chance to get stamina, either between 50 and 100, or you get gold. And again, that stamina is much more important than the gold. I would prefer that wheel had 4 things of stamina on it, like 25, 50, maybe 100, maybe 200 for the biggest one, or something like that. Because no matter what, any of that stamina is probably going to be better than getting the gold for a lot of players. Even the 25 stamina may not be 100,000 gold worth, but that still can give you a few runs of, I don't know, story, maybe side story, to build up a little bit of fodder. Maybe you just need some equipment pieces, anything like that. Still, stamina, the moral of the story, stamina reigns supreme. It's the most dominant thing that you need in this game to even play with a stamina issue that Epic 7 has. So you have all that to consider. But the biggest issue is the fact that why is there RNG involved at all? Why do we have RNG for an event like this? For any of these types of events, why do they need to put another layer of RNG within the free events? I don't see it. I mean, Smilegate, you think you're giving back, but the problem is you're giving to a group of players, but not giving to the other. So what do you think is going to happen if the one group of players continues to be unlucky while the other that's doing the same thing? I mean, both groups are playing the same way, but they're being rewarded differently. That will cause a divide within the community, and that'll cause certain groups of players to just stop playing and tell their friends to stop playing, or just grow some kind of level of frustration, so they're not going to spend on your game anymore. A lot of things, a lot of domino effects could take place here because of events like this and other things that you've done within the game that we've talked about in other videos that are becoming very problematic and very hard to ignore. For example, if you were very unlucky to get any leafs from this event while other players were getting a bunch of leafs, obviously the other players just received a big advantage. They are now able to play more PvE, more, they're able to do more hunts to get better gear, which you can end up facing those players in PvP, and then they can have better gear because they were able to farm and you weren't. Guild Wars included. You also have the fact that they can progress further in the game to get better gear, better rewards for their characters, build their characters up, things of that nature. All of that stems from stamina. And if you don't have stamina, you don't progress. That's just common sense. And the problem with these events that are hidden behind a lot of RNG levels is some players could get extremely lucky and some can't. I can handle a player getting very lucky on a banner. That's fine. That's the world that we live in. That's a gotcha for you. That's fine. That's understandable. They got a better player. That's good. That's not meant to be a free function anyway. That's meant to be something that is there and it's intended to be that way. But when you're talking about a free event with free rewards, when you don't distribute those equally amongst players that are all doing the same amount of work, that's an issue. That's where it becomes a problem. There shouldn't be 100 different things in this game behind RNG. I mean, just off the top of my head, and I'm not going to list them all, but just off the top of my head, you have RNG in the banners. You have RNG in the sanctuary. You have RNG in these daily events. You have RNG in the gear rolls, the gear drops, the hunt drops are even RNG. It doesn't even have to be gear. It could be something else that drops entirely. You have RNG in when catalysts are going to drop. You have just RNG everywhere. Like, it's just all over the place. Just very insane. Hell, there's even RNG in PvP when people can outspeed one or another if your speed is very close. I don't know why that's a thing, but that's been a thing for a while. There's just so much layers of RNG in this game that it's becoming a bit unrealistic, unreasonable, a bit just overbearing, and a little bit dictatorish, in my opinion. I don't even know if that's a word, but if it isn't, it is now. I just feel like you're just strong-arming us a bit way too much into submission. Even on the very, very free-to-play events, they still can shaft you. And that's unfortunate, because for a player that's doing all their daily things, for example, you come up here, they're using their energy, they're using their gold, they're doing their events every day, they're trying to play your game and enjoy your game, and then they come down here, they click on the trap Aether, which you guys need to seriously stop pushing Aether on events, because, like, why? Why? I know you like traps, but we don't, okay? So we keep clicking give, and it feels like the more we click give, it feels almost ironic that you're actually just taking away and not giving at all, unless you're one of those lucky few that got a lot of leaves from this event. I don't know why there has to be levels of RNG. Why can't we just collect the rewards? We do the requirements, and then we just click an item that we want to purchase, and you just have a bunch of them listed, and we can just buy whatever we need to buy. So for a player who may need that greater charm, like right now, they don't want to wait, they're impatient, they're trying to build something for PvP, a piece of equipment perhaps, they're going to buy that right away. Or if there's leafs there, you're going to buy those as well. Hell, I don't even care if you put a limit on each of the items that we can buy. At least every player will get them fairly and equally amongst the entirety of the community. Not, oh yeah, dude, I got like 10 leaves this event, and then some other dude's like, yeah, man, I got all the crappy accessory charms that are the low-grade ones. Rip. So what do you think just happened there, Smilegate? The player that just received all those leaves for doing the same work as the other player who just got all of the bad charms got a huge jump up in progress on their account than the other, because one player was able to keep playing the game, especially with the month-long side story that's going on with the collab event. Then the other player didn't have any stamina at all, so guess what they were doing? They weren't playing your game. They were going and playing another game that they may eventually one day just completely gravitate to and forget your game altogether, because of how bad RNG could hit a player hard in this game, because almost everything is behind an RNG wall, and it's very unfortunate. There's just some things that you can put behind RNG and some things that you just shouldn't, and things like this just really shouldn't be behind RNG. I mean, if I'm doing the job and they're doing the job, just let's just get our rewards and go on with our day. But at least I don't have to feel a little bit uneasy with how some players are getting extremely lucky and some aren't for events. Now, RNG is in every gacha. Don't get it twisted. If you watch this far into the video, don't tell me, oh man, this dude's up there complaining about a game about RNG and it's a gacha. What do you expect? That's not what today's video is about. That would go along with possibly the gear, which is already bad enough, and then banners, of course. What we're talking about is a free event that goes on daily that has no reason whatsoever to be behind RNG. There is no reason for it. And I already know a lot of players in the comment section be like, oh, I got like 20 leads from this event, so it's good for me. Obviously, it's good for you. You got extremely lucky with all those leaves. That's perfectly fine. But for every other player that didn't get lucky, they don't feel the same. I'm just saying we need a little bit more balance in this game, a little bit more longevity, and I don't think we're going to get that if the game continues down this path. And like I said, a lot of players are starting to feel a little disdain for the company because they're doing things like this. And a lot of people don't look into these events like this and break them down like this. They just, oh, it's free stuff, whatever, and they move on. They don't actually look and see the changes that are being made or the actual irregularities behind the RNG in these events and how it could actually affect your fellow gamer, your fellow friend or family member, whoever else that you know that's playing this game as well as you are. They may not be feeling that same level of enjoyment as you are because of events like this where they're leaning towards using these to stockpile up resources so they can continue to play the game and to only get shafted by RNG. So it's definitely a real issue. Like in this game, you could take a 3 or 4 or 5 star and make it good in this game with gear, because gear is like 95% of how good a character is going to be in this game. But when you dangle a carrot in front of us, if you will, if you want to use that analogy, and that carrot is actually stamina, and we come into an event like this expecting to hopefully get some stamina and we don't, it becomes very disheartening, very frustrating and annoying and aggravating, whatever term you want to use. And it's unfortunate because a lot of us just want to play the game. A lot of us don't care about climbing up to the top ranks of PvP or being the best or the most competitive player. We just want the same chance to be able to play the game as everyone else that's doing the same event. This has nothing to do with spending money or summoning in a banner, getting one character or another. This is 100% to do with events having RNG when they're meant to be free rewards in the first place. And that's the issue. Just Smilegate, take away the RNG from these events. We don't need it. We already are being butchered by enough RNG as it is. Stop trying to squeeze the player down, trying to strong arm them into submission to go buy your leaf packs or whatever to keep playing your game. Stop doing that. You don't need to do that. You're going to make a fortune if you just make the game good. Keep the game good. The art and animation alone should carry you into the black, profit margins, if you guys aren't aware with economics. Monthly. As long as you keep the game enjoyable and let us play the game that we want to play, you're going to make money. Money will come to you in many ways, but this is not a way that you need to do it. It's just, there's no point doing things like this. It's just not needed. I enjoy getting these little events because this is the things that help a free-to-play player stay free to play and be able to enjoy your game. Obviously, bottom dollar is what it's all about at the end of the day, but like I just said, there are many ways to make money without doing things like this. Just take away the RNG from these events. If you guys agree with that, let me know in the comment section below. And hopefully a lot of you actually watched from the beginning to the end, because I can already see some people going like, oh, this dude's complaining about RNG and a gotcha. What the hell? It's not what it's about. It's these events is what it's about. That's what today's video is about. Has nothing to do with all that other stuff. So hopefully a lot of you understand. Maybe some of you agree, disagree, whatever. Let me know all that in the comment section below. Like the video if you did. And yeah, so hope you guys all enjoy the rest of your day. Sorry about that kid running around in the background. But until next time, I'll catch you guys all later. Have an awesome day wherever you are. Until then, peace.